Okay. The hearing is now open. If you would like to speak on any of the ordinances on this agenda, please raise your hand so you can be recognized. And at this point, you'll be able to speak only on these ordinances, and you'll have 3 minutes. Please give us your name when you hit the...
My name is Johnny Sofer. I live at 30 Monterey Avenue. I was out of the country when the first ordinance was passed authorizing 4-story building on Teaneck Road south of Route 4. I would have been here then. I know that you guys work very hard. I've seen evidence tonight. I can't believe your agenda. But I have to tell you that there is a general feeling, because I've gone around and spoken to people, that everything is a done deal by the time we get our notices. And in fact, the notices that go out say, pursuant to New Jersey SA 40:55D-621, included herewith is a copy of ordinance number 19-215 entitled, and so on. You may have met the legal obligation to inform us, but it's not transparent, and you haven't met the moral or the clear obligation to inform us in a language that we can understand. Many of the people I spoke to said their eyes glazed over at the first 3 lines, and they just didn't continue reading because they didn't think they would understand it. We cannot understand how a town like Teaneck, which is a suburban town, why you would pick an area that's residential and allow 4-story buildings that front people's backyards. It is not my backyard. I live a block away. But I have neighbors whose backyards will be behind 4-story buildings where people can look into their living rooms and their bedrooms. I don't understand why you didn't go to an area like Cedar Lane in Teaneck, where we have 1-story stores, which could have had 2- and 3-story buildings. We have a vacant lot right next to Stop and Shop in Teaneck, and an empty building. We could build there. Why do you do building in an area that is essentially residential? I don't understand why you can't give residents more time to investigate this. We get a couple of weeks, maybe a month or 2. As you are, we're all working. We have families, we have other obligations, and we don't have the resources that you have. We don't have teams of people that can research for us. And we all get the feeling that it's pointless to come here and talk to you, that we won't be heard. I don't know if it's possible. I wish you would reconsider the 4-story zoning. I think it's unfair to the people who own property there. Their house values are going to plummet. And I think that the immediate tax benefits are going to be offset in the long run by increased school taxes, by road repairs on the side streets, by increased services in this building. We're going to have to serve these people more, and I think somebody needs to look down the road a little bit and see what the implications are going to be.
Would anyone else like to address the council?
Hi, my name is Linda Hughes. I've lived in Teaneck 50 years, and this is my first council meeting. That's how important this is. I'm sorry. Do I have to repeat everything?
Only to speak into it.
Okay. Again, first council meeting in 50 years. That's how important this is. I agree with everything you said, and I also got your letter. I'm one of those. I live at virtually the intersection of Teaneck Road and Cedar Lane. My backyard has a fence. On the other side of that fence is Volk Funeral Home's parking lot. I believe block 3801, 1 through 6 lots, would be Volk's property. Am I correct when I read that?
Yes.
We'll answer you after.
Okay. So if that being the case, right now you couldn't fit a lemonade stand there because of the parking lot to the sidewalk. Unless Volks is selling, and then the town's going to come in and raise all that, I'm going to now be behind perhaps a 4-story. By the way, there are no 4-story buildings on Teaneck Road from Route 4 down to Lindbergh. I counted today. 3 is the highest. Now you're going to go 4. That is going to be right behind my house. And as she said, people are going to be looking in. The traffic, the cops can tell you, accidents all the time at that intersection. 2 lanes go down to 1 lane, goes back to 2 lane in less than a half a mile. If the housing prices, you're right, have plummeted, and if this goes through and there's a shovel in the ground, I will be leaving Teaneck. Thank you.
My name's Morty Colbert. I live at 926.
Can you speak into the mic?
Thanks. I live at 926 Commonwealth Drive, and I was very surprised to receive this letter about proposed retail changes. I live on a lot that abuts a residential building that faces Teaneck Road. And from what little I know about this change, because there has been no information provided to the public, this could potentially result in commercial property abutting my property. So certainly it raises my concerns, and I think it affects the attractiveness of our community. One of the things that I was always interested in about Teaneck is a very nice residential green look that it had about it. And it's unique to find that in a suburban town so close to New York. And so I'm very disappointed to see that such council members who spend so much time doing so many good things for our community can propose such far-reaching changes without informing the community about the potential and without enlisting the support of the community. Perhaps there's a need for additional revenue, but at least let the community know. Maybe things need to be modified. Maybe there need to be studies. Instead, we get a letter in the mail, a letter dated April 24th. I received it on May 22nd. The certified mailing went out on May 18th. I'm not sure why the town waited over 3 weeks and why I got notice less than 3 weeks before the meeting, and why there's no material to explain what the nature of the change is. There's no information provided at this hearing. And so I'm really surprised. I see there are other changes that the council is proposing. The Butterfly Center, the 4th stories, I didn't know anything at all about it. And it's very disturbing to see that Teaneck Road could be possibly altered by 4-story buildings. Certainly, I don't think it's appropriate to do that without informing the community, without seeing what the people of this community feel about it, and then making such changes. And procedurally, I question whether, and I didn't have an opportunity to review the statutes, whether the notice provided by the council is legal. The letter, again, is dated April 24th. The postmark I have in my letter, which is a town meter, is May 18th, over 3 weeks later. Why did the town wait 3 weeks to send this out? And why did the notice that we got provide us with less than 3 weeks' notice? So I'd respectfully request that this vote be postponed, that the council provide appropriate information to the community about this change and other changes that the town council has in mind, so that the community can be properly informed and so that other members of the community understand what the objectives of the council are. And I would appreciate if the town does take that action and does take steps to let us know, because I still don't understand what the council is proposing. I call Councilman Katz. I appreciate it very much.
Hello, I'm Mary Ann Jeffers, and I live on Hartwell Street. And we've just recently got parking where we are free, at least until 12 o'clock. And what bothers me about these retail stores, I live directly behind the doctor's offices, which gives no privacy at all to your backyards unless you have privacy fence. With the retail proposal, the stores, it has me very concerned. Like my other neighbor said, it would make me want to leave Teaneck. I've been here over 35 years, raised my kids here. I love Teaneck because it is residential. I don't want to see it become commercial in my area. And that's why I would like to request that you reconsider as well this retail overlay.
Gentleman in the back. Just for clarification purposes, this is an opportunity to speak on any of the ordinances on the agenda.
Good evening. My name is Charles Austin. I live on Johnson Court, and I've been a resident of Teaneck since 1971. I was here a couple of months ago when this plan first came up, and the talk then was of having this zone extend down to DeGraw. And after some discussion led by some of my neighbors, you decided that you would eliminate that part of the plan and have the plan only extend down to Lindbergh Avenue. I'm glad to see the people whose residences are near Lindbergh Avenue are also here with the same kind of objections. Teaneck Road is, in a way, it's my main street. I buy bagels there, I get pizza there, I go to the doctor there, I go to the library here. And if it is a bad idea, as you apparently thought it was, to extend this zone down to DeGraw Avenue, which would have affected hundreds of more houses, if it's a bad idea to extend it down there, it's a bad idea to have it where you are talking about having it now.
5.
David Schlussel, I want to talk about the retail overlay zone. In particular, not addressing the items that other people discussed. I understand that Teaneck Road is a commercial street, but included within the zone is the 20-acre hospital lot. And I understand that that wasn't the intent to have that with 4 stories and 10-foot setbacks and so on. But I do suggest that either the hospital lot be removed from that overlay, as opposed to having that 20-acre lot as part of it, or at least making a restriction of a certain number of feet from Teaneck Road that the overlay would apply to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Naomi Kramer. I've been listening to people in the community getting up and talking about this ordinance and expressing that they really, first of all, did not quite understand the whole thing and did not get enough information about it. And this happens, this is not the first time. The first reading, people sort of glaze over. And I think this is similar with the billboard ordinance. You pass these ordinances without including the community. So the people along Route 4 had no idea what was happening and had no way of really expressing, and take the attitude that some of the people here expressed, oh, well, it doesn't matter, they're going to do what they want anyway. So I would hope that with this ordinance and with any others that affects so many members of the community, that you do a much better job of including the people who will be affected by an ordinance before you pass it. I don't think there's been enough community involvement and sharing with the community. Maybe you might have changed. So you changed some of it because some people south of Holy Name complained because they figured out what was happening. So you changed the ordinance. But hopefully you will give these other residents a chance to express their opinions about it, not just when you're about to vote on it and approve it. You need to do more community involvement with these ordinances that affect the residents so badly.